Hello friends! Today is no less interesting topic. It's called tuples. You know friends, tuples are no less interesting and useful tools in Swift than dictionaries, arrays. Actually, our first tuple, and right below declaration and tuple without annotation type. As you can see, Swift understands perfectly what we mean. Next, there is still such a trick when we create a tuple. This is called bind a type. To get to a value through a variable, you need to unbind or parse the data. This is done as I will show you in the next seconds. We are creating the variables we need beforehand. Number 1, name, decimal value, and the last one is bool. For the sake of clarity, I write such long titles so that you will understand me. Absolutely. Next, we bind these variables to the tuples we created earlier. What is it for? In order to call all these values by variables, that is, we write number 1, we see value 1, we call one more variable, name, and so on. You see, it is very convenient to use. If you don't need all this data in our using, and we only need to get the decimal value. Then for this we have to write let A, B, C and D that equals and assign tuple. And in order to call the value of C, we just write it. But guys, for convenience, if in the future we don't need to use the other variables to avoid taking a place in the memory, Swift suggests us using the special symbol. It calls underscore. We see that we cannot apply it to this data already. They don't need interest in us on the task. And on C we call the value 25.5. See? Also, from previous lessons, we have to remember that in the array, all the data are in the index from 0 to 1 to 2 to 3 to infinity. And here, 2, just don't confuse with the array. Access to tuple elements is done through a dot. We get the necessary value from the index, any declared type of data. Let's try index 0. And now on the sidebar we see the value is 1. The next one, Paulina. The third one, 25.5, etc. There is another version of tuple. We write immediately the name of the variable, name 1, name Paulina, and the third one and last for name bool value is true. Above we refer to the index, to the elements of tuple 1, 2, 3. And here we can address in a different way. If this tuple wasn't created by us, then we do not understand what lies at number 1, number 2, etc., what lies under the number and so on. To do this, we created these kinds of labels and put values in them. To cause them, we get the design is easy to use. Name tuple, then put a dot and see all the labels that we have. This is much more obvious. In this way, we want to see only names. Let's try call the tuple dot name. It works. On the sidebar, we see value Paulina. Sometimes in the practice of an inexperienced programmer can occur problems when we need to declare 3 variables in one line, like this. And immediately I repeat that it is not necessary to do. It is ugly. Let's declare the second variable in one line, name 2. Let it be Paulina. And the third one, name 3, value is Jack. Okay. As you can see, it is ugly, and I will show you more sophisticated and perfect way to declare variable using tuple. In order to use tuple and we have displayed all the variables, I recommend doing the following. Let's comment out the wrong line and write in parentheses name1, name2, name3. And here we write the values of these variables themselves. Let's copy paste the second one and the last one, Jack. Okay. All three variables we quickly and beautifully wrote. Get them any values. It can be numbers, lines, everything that is available in Swift. Agree that is a like of a locomotive or a train. In books, sometimes about Swift, writers write that tuples are similar to a composition of data. Something like that. When we need to get a value, for example, Sergey, just as above, we call name 1 and get the value Sergey. This improves the beauty of our code. I recommend you to use tuples in your code very often. You can do the same things as follows. Let's comment this line and let's declare a new tuple. Let name tuple and assign it value. Label name1 has value Sergey. Name2 has value Paulina. And name3 has value Jack. This is, in my opinion, is much more readable than previous one, tuple. Immediately it is clear what is happening here, variable and immediately value. The only thing we call the tuple name, next type a dot and call a label. All options are workable, they are equivalent as this as previous one. The most important thing is how to print our tuples to the console. In order to do it, we need to get the foundation of Swift very firmly, so that we do not have any questions about tuples. We just call the print function and specify our tuple between round parentheses. And on the console we see values from our tuples. There are still some examples of using tuple. Let's imagine we have task to specify user. Let declare his name via constant name. And the value is Jack. It is just example, and next constant his age, and let it be 25 years old. Okay, next. And imagine that we want to print out on the console with data via print method. Through the interpolation of the lines, we print out value of our variables on the console. And I want to say that here we do not use tuples. at all. Let's put before names string of user, just in case, to be more beauty on the console. C, yeah. And before h we put h string equal value of our constant. If we want to use tuple, this is done as follows on the screen. We write print method and open one parenthesis, then open one more tuple parenthesis. We see what is printed on the console. It is the same as printed out on console using constants, but here we are using only tuples. It is a very convenient way to print out data from tuples. Okay guys, the lesson came to an end. I recommend you practice as much as possible if you want to start writing your application faster. I promise you that we will write our mini applications in the future. Okay, that's all for now. Thank you for listening. Until next lesson. And don't forget to give a good assessment of this course on the site. 5 stars will be enough. Thank you, friends. See ya.